Very pleased to have with us on the program right now a friend of the Terry family, Lana Domino, who has been a guest on this program many times before. Lana, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight. It's good talking to you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for keeping Brian's case alive in the media.
Absolutely. First of all, we know that yesterday the Terry family, or 2 days ago, the Terry family filed a claim against ATF in the death of Brian Terry, saying that basically ATF knew that these guns were ended up in the hands of bad actors. They should have put a stop to it. They didn't, and as a result, Brian was murdered.
Correct.
All right. So today we heard the Attorney General testify before the House Oversight Committee. Did you have a chance to listen?
Oh, yeah, I was listening to the whole thing.
What's your take on what you heard?
I think today was the worst of any of the Oversight Committee meetings that there were. The Democrats obviously did the usual, what they usually do, stuck up for him, and they don't see it, so they must all be like blind mice, that they don't see what everybody else sees. For him to say that, who was it, Raul Labrador, who he was giving examples of times that he's come to the Oversight Committee not prepared time after time after again, and Trent Gowdy that was pretty much just telling him, how could you say you didn't know when we have emails that are referencing Operation Fast and Furious? He denied it and said, well, I'd like to see that. And that was my happiest moment, is that they actually took time out. ISA got the emails to put him on the spot and didn't let him get away with it. Because that's all he's doing is denying and denying and denying. And to sit there and say, I'm fully cooperating, if ISA doesn't intervene at those points and say, let me just state something, I subpoenaed you. So you didn't cooperate. I had to subpoena you. You've given us like 6,400 documents out of 80,000. So if you call that full cooperation, and you'll continue to. If he has nothing to hide, then you know what? Give all your emails. Give all the documents. Because the amount of people that they're indicting and the amount of time that they're getting regardless is so minimal. Does it really matter? If Jaime Avila is going to walk away and get 3 years?
Right.
What's it going to matter at that point? I'd rather have all the documents and get all the politicians, the ATF agents, whoever is involved in this case that let those guns walk, that led to all these murders. Those are the people that I want to see prosecuted. Those are the people I want to see fired. No one fired. No one held accountable. And his response to that was, well, this person was moved and that person was moved. How do you not see that America is watching? It's not just you're there with the Oversight Committee. The people are outraged. I mean, this is like playing us all like we're fools.
Well, I gotta agree with you, Lana. I mean, I think what we heard today, some of the excuses from the Attorney General. I mean, there were a couple of times, one instance where Trey Gowdy was asking the Attorney General about an email that mentioned Fast and Furious by name, didn't mention by name Operation Wide Receiver, and yet Eric Holder continued to insist, oh, no, this isn't about Fast and Furious at all, where it talks about guns walking. Then we had the exchange between then U.S. Attorney Dennis Burke and Holder's Deputy Chief of Staff, Monty Wilkinson, after Brian was murdered, where Dennis Burke, informs the Deputy Chief of Staff about Brian Terry's murder. The Deputy Chief of Staff says, I've told the Attorney General. Burke writes back and says, the guns found at the murder scene were a part of that investigation that we were going to talk about. Wilkinson says, I'll call you tomorrow. And now nobody can remember having any conversation whatsoever about that, and nobody can remember informing the Attorney General. I mean, what do you make of those excuses, Lana?
Here's the thing that I think when they do these Oversight Committee meetings, they should almost have like a projector. So when they start referencing these documents, they can have it clear as day. We make the letters as big as you possibly can for Mr. Holder. Because every time they question him on something, he either deters everybody's attention and tries to throw it, that is not Operation Fast and Furious, okay? Or he doesn't remember, or that's not what that was referencing. He will interpret the words in his own definitions, which he's obviously got a different dictionary than the rest of us in America. And then you have the Democrats who stick up for him that you haven't produced 1 ounce of evidence on Mr. Holder that he should resign. So for you guys to imply that he should resign, remember, like Dennis Kucinich, for you guys to say that he should resign without one iota evidence in black and white showing that Holder knew. Well, tell Holder to give up his emails, and then we'll really know whether he knew or not. Because if he has nothing to hide, why won't you give up your emails?
Right.
I mean, and then they're referencing, Mr. Issa, you lied. You have been putting lie after lie after lie out there. Who is that, Mr. Clark?
I believe,
Clay or Clay
Representative Clay, yes.
Representative Clay. He says, you've been putting out false information. You've been putting out lies. You said there was 3 guns. He's not the only person that said there was 3 guns. Dennis Burke told the family on several occasions that there was 3 guns. Holt McAllister was on tape with the store owner from the Lone Wolf, and he got her on tape stating that there was a 3rd gun. They talked about the 2 AKs that were bought from his store, and that there was other guns that were purchased from Texas. Now, I sent you over some email exchanges.
Right.
If you look at the one after attachment 8, and the emails from Brad Smith to Gary Grindler. CC'd on it is Mark Michalik. It's an ATF update.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the 2 blacked out areas in between, it says, second, you may recall that a CBP border agent was killed on Tuesday in a firefight in Arizona involving, along the Mexican border, 2 of the weapons, plural, 2 of the weapons recovered from the scene, AK-47 variants. Well, if there was only 2 weapons, why would it say 2 of the weapons? It's in an email in black and white.
Right. It would say...
Holt McAllister we have Holt McAllister on tape. The family was told by Dennis Burke on several occasions, okay? And other people have voiced their opinion about this, and all of a sudden, mysteriously, there's no 3rd gun. You're misreading the report and how the report was written. Well, who's writing the reports? The DOJ. It's like the report came out that the DOJ is not responsible.
Uh-huh.
It's like having Eric Holder write his own report.
Right.
I mean, I just sit here like, do they really think we are deaf, dumb, and blind? Because the American people are not. It's so blatantly obvious, and it's really sad that the Democrats stand up and protect him. It's actually disheartening. I mean, as a country, and it's like, I don't take sides either way. And the one representative said, this is not a Republican, and this is not a Democrat issue. And it's not. This is an American issue. And what does he go to say? Well, we still need the assault weapon ban. I believe that we need the assault weapon ban to protect. He's still on his original mission to implement gun laws.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that it's fatally flawed,
right.
It's not fatally flawed. These were your intentions. The inception of the program, the whole creation of it, was completely wrong. It's not even flawed. It's wrong. It's murder. That's basically what it is. They knew it was going to happen. They just didn't know that it was going to be their own agent. And then the program continued. So it's like the American people are listening. The people at the Oversight Committee, Democrats, Republicans, are listening. I listened to what they said. It continued on February still. After Brian's death, it was still continuing. He claims that he doesn't recall any being told. He wasn't aware of Operation Fast and Furious. There's an email showing that he knew the day Brian died, the day that he passed away. So it's like, okay, if we have emails, we have black and white documents, we have taped conversations. Well, I don't understand why can't we get to the next level? Why can't he be impeached? Why can't we indict him for perjury? What are we waiting for? There is documentation to prove it. I mean, I feel like they're trying to discredit the American people like we're idiots, like we're incompetent, like we can't read or write. And it's all about gun control. It's all about getting, the assault weapons ban back.
I mean, look, we heard him bring it up on multiple occasions today. Representative Jerry Connolly brought it up as well. So, the supporters of this administration, that's what they turned to. They didn't want to talk about Fast and Furious today. They wanted to talk about what new gun control laws Eric Holder believed are necessary. And we heard a laundry list of them today. Now, I've got to ask.
What do you think that does to the family?
Well, I was going to ask. I mean, have you talked to Brian's family at all today?
Yes, I have. And you know what? It saddens me because the pain that he causes them, it doesn't stop. The pain that Eric Holder causes that family is a continuous pain. Every time he speaks, the lies that come out of his mouth, the lies about his apology, the lies today. Brian is collateral damage to Eric Holder. That's all he is. The guy shows no emotion. He started to make a comment about, he was a brave Border Patrol agent. Then he stopped himself and said, no. He's so calculated the way he answers his question, like the attorney that he is, because he's got something to hide. Because you and I both know if you have nothing to hide, you'd speak freely, and you wouldn't have to sit there and think about your answers and calculate them, how you're going to respond. He clearly stopped himself. And it's a slap in the family's face, Every time they don't use his name, he's saying to Raul Labrador that he's disrespecting his position in office, and he was very disrespectful. Well, you don't think it's disrespectful to refer to him as the agent or the officer and never to use his name like he doesn't exist?
Right. I believe it one. I believe that there was actually was it a member of Congress who referred to Brian Terry as a I think he didn't refer to him as a Border Patrol agent.
Right, well, the Democrat did it, and Eric Holder did it.
Yeah.
And it's like that's disrespectful to the family, because it's like saying he doesn't matter. Here's somebody who was a police officer, he was a Marine, he was a Border Patrol agent. Say his name proudly, because he fought proudly for his country and he gave his life. You don't refer to him as the agent or the officer. That's disrespectful to the family. So you can imagine how irate they are when they listen to this.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, I'm going to fully cooperate. I want to help the Terry family. He has no regard for mankind. He has no regard for the Terry family whatsoever. If he had any regard, any emotion that was involved, if he let himself emotionally, like, this is wrong, I am in a high position that represents the people of America, I should do what's right, he has no conscience whatsoever. He's calculating and he's cold. And he's got no conscience. And he doesn't understand. You have 101 people with Paul Gosar, who has the no confidence thing, that want him to resign. And you're going to sit there and say, I have confidence in the Attorney General. And then you got Barack Obama. I have confidence in Eric Holder. I just don't understand how they think the American people are. There's more people watching this now, thanks to people like you, NRA News, keeping Brian's story alive, that are outraged. And you know, you don't have to be a scientist to figure this out.
Right.
There's evidence. There's already emails. I mean, I sent you the one. You have a taped conversation with Hope McAllister. Why did she go to Mexico to go back to the vault? That's documented that she went.
Well,
there's documentation, Lanny Brewer. There's documentation that he went and spoke.
Right.
This isn't black and white. This is not like we're pulling this from the sky. They have documentation. And then Eric Holder goes there and he goes, oh, well, that wasn't in reference to that. And he tries to divert everyone's attention and manipulate everyone. That's not about Operation Fast and Furious. That's about another operation. What he meant was this. And then he gets out his own dictionary to manipulate people. He's not manipulating anyone. It's just sad that he's still in position and that we haven't got him impeached or fired. I don't know what it's going to take, but he definitely does not represent America well. It's disgusting. And when you lose the trust of the people, one representative was saying, you're never going to get that trust back.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's never going to get it back. And they're still on a mission to implement the assault weapons ban, what they started it for,
right,
which is another slap in the face to the Terry family. So when Brian's mom made that comment, why, gee, I can't imagine why she would be so infuriated like that to say those things. That's her son. That's her child. That's never going to walk through the door. She's never going to get the big bear hug she used to get. He's gone forever. There's nothing. There's no amount of money that's going to bring him back. There's nothing that's going to bring him back. He has no regards for that. That's the sad part. And the rest of the Democrats, what upsets me, that makes it even sadder, that they're going to stand up to protect that man, they know. For them, it's about politics. For the American people, it's not about politics, Cam.
I absolutely agree. Lana, listen, we are almost out of time tonight, but I want to thank you so much for coming on the program. Please give our best to the Terry family.
Yeah,
let us know
Terry, the whole Terry family is so thankful that you keep it alive. I mean, Kent wishes he could come on. Believe me, he's fit to be tied today. Like, I wish I could come on in the worst way. He's like, what's going on? They just want the truth.
Yeah.
The whole family just wants, admit it. Just admit you're human. You made a mistake, and admit it. But to sit there and deny it is like Brian dying in vain and dishonoring his service to his country.
I hope one day the family finds justice, Lana. Listen, we are running up against the end of the show here, but we'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank
and
you
like
so
I
much,
said,
Cam.
please let the Terry family know they're in our thoughts and our prayers, okay?
Will do. Thank you, Cam.